Hello and welcome to another video in the WFCC Learner's Corner. In this video, I'll be explaining to you all what a set play is in Helpmates. But before I jump into that, let me just give you a quick recap of what we had done in the previous videos. In the first video, we defined what a helpmate was and I gave you a small example. In the second, third, fourth videos, we talked about different types of helpmates such as multi-solution, twinning, and duplex. In the fifth video, we talked about how we can create harmony in helpmates and why it is so useful, and I gave you a very interesting example. And today we're going to be talking about set plays. So set plays in helpmates means that in addition to the move sequence comprising the solution, there's another solution that is half move shorter. So basically the first half move is forfeited. So let me give you an example. Let's say there's a helpmate in 3, right? So then it would be black, white, black, white, black, white mate. But if there's a set play in the solution, then there would also be another solution which would comprise of white, black, white mate. So it is one half move shorter. And it adds an aesthetic appeal as to black, for example, in this example which I'm going to be showing you, has nothing to do on the first move. So this composition which I present to you is by Rizard, published in Vola Gulufska 1992. It is helpmate in 3 with a set play. So let's try finding the set play first. That would be white, black, white mate. Well, the solution to this is bishop to c3, king to c5, king to e4, queen to b5, bishop d4 mate. And now the c6, c4 squares are covered along with the check from both the pieces, and the bishop covers the b6, and of course b4 and d5 are also covered by the king. In the next one, so now it's going to be the helpmate in 3, so no set play. Well, the answer to this is queen a2, rook c3, king e5, king e3, queen e6, and rook c5 mate. Again, it's a double check from this bishop, and the bishop checks it, the rook checks it, and f6, f5, d5, d4, e4, and f4, all of them are covered. So, now let me tell you one very interesting thing about this. First of all, let's say it was the helpmate in 3, right? And what would black try so that he can achieve the same mating position as the helpmates in 2.5, or the set play in the diagram's position? Well, he can't do anything because he was trying to get the queen to b5 and the king to c5, right? So white played the first move, bishop to c3, so that the black king could go to c5. But right now, black has no waiting move. Because of that, black has to play a different move, let's say queen a2, queen a1, or any other queen move, which would then result in the queen not being able to go to b5. Now this is quite interesting to see when you're solving as a solver, and so that's why it adds quite an aesthetic appeal. Now some themes which were demonstrated by this problem was that there was Grimshaw. So Grimshaw is when there's a mutual interference between the rook and the bishop on the same square without any capture. So in the first solution, it was bishop to c3, then king to c5. In the second solution, there was rook c3, and then king to e5. So both the bishop and the rook in different solutions were covering this c3 square. And both of them in the end delivered a discovered double checkmate. Now, there was one other interesting theme. That was hesitation. So a piece could play on a particular square at once, but for some reason it does not occupy it immediately, but instead in some subsequent moves it occupies that square. So in the first set play solution, it was bishop c5, king e4, queen b5, bishop d4. So the bishop could have gone to d4 straight away, but no, it didn't. It first went to c3 and then to d4. This was because so that the king could go to c5, and so at the end bishop d4 would be a double checkmate. In the same way, in the second solution, so in the Helpmate in 3, black plays queen a2, rook c3, king e5, king e3, queen e6, and rook c5. So white first played rook c3 so that the king could go to e5, and then white played rook c5 at the end. So this was about set plays and helpmates, and see you in the next video.